Halo. Welcome everybody. Halo. I'm yours truly, Diva Laree, representing for UNA University and UNA Republic. Halo. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Halo. Yes, 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 yes. UNA. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Halo. Thank you all for joining us. This is an open session for UNA Republic. So thank you all for joining. I want y'all to know we are at the end of our winter season, actually. Winter 2024, we are at the end of it. I'm so proud of my students. I love my students. I'm excited about the university and all of the students that have come in and actually put this information to work. We're building towards some really, really large things. So if you all are interested in joining the UNA University, we're going to be enrolling here soon. Follow us or find us at unauniversity.com. All right, and there you'll have the new season coming up. So basically, let me state this because I'm excited about this season. We have nation funding coming up. So a lot of our students have been with us since we started this whole nation building. All right, now we're at the point of funding the nation. So that's what's coming up this season, nation funding, and also spiritual history. Spiritual history, very important. We got to start with the basics. So we're not just talking about what happened here in the Americas. We're going into your spiritual history, who you are, where you came from, who you are on a spiritual level, the molecular level, the whole nine. So we got a great season coming up. This is going to be spring, starting in April, the 15th of April. So if you're interested, find the link in the bio. You can hit us in the inbox, all right? Or you can find us at unauniversity.com. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Fear not. Today we're talking about fear not. All right, we want you to stop fearing. We're going to get into this thing. And those of y'all who are interested in our trust package or our membership program where you get your trust, all right, this comes with this trust, comes with your membership badge, your allodial ID, all right. It's also going to come with an education, and we're going to put these on record for you. So this is your trust package. All right, if you're interested in this, find the link in the bio or find us at unauniversity.com. All right, so I can get into this thing. Okay, fear not, fear not. I got a few minutes before class, so I want to go into this topic about fear. Last time I was on, I spoke about some people who I went out to dinner with, and they were some friends from my skate session. Now, when I talked about this information, they were green. They had no idea when I started talking about the UNA, what the difference is between the United States of America versus the United States. They were green. They were clueless. And for those of y'all who don't know, there is a difference. By the way, we are streaming on YouTube. All right, so we do stream on YouTube. You can find us at YouTube, on YouTube at UNA Republic, okay? So I'm talking to these people who are really, they had no knowledge about what we're talking about here, and definitely not about what we go talk about in the university. Now, my students are elite, and I make sure they are clear on that. What makes somebody elite is their knowledge. What makes someone elite is their knowledge. So when they start talking about the elite this and elite people and elite doing this, they're elite because they have a knowledge of information that we just don't know. What is that information? Well, it includes elite knowledge about what's going on in this dimension All right, the universal laws, which I talked to you all about. Here's the other elite thing they have knowledge about. They have knowledge about the law. Okay, when we start talking about taxes, we start talking about the federal side. We have been made to fear these entities when the truth is they work for us. They work for us, but you have to know what the law is, and you have to know how to invoke their help. All right. So the problem is when you're fearing, you have this anxiety towards this group of people or what have you, and they're the ones that are there to help you. But if you're not calling on their help, if you're not saying the right things, then they can't help you by law. All right, you have to know what the law is, and if you're fearing, then you won't ever get to know what the law is, and you're going to stay as a slave. All right, so let's get into some of these things that we talked about during our time at dinner or what have you. One of the things we talked about is taxes, all right, and how we're supposed to get money back dollar for dollar that we put into the system. So this is one of the things that I told you guys about, that the way the system is set up, really, for example, what you're supposed to be able to do is to go into the grocery store, get your groceries, take it to the counter, and when they give you that receipt, you're supposed to be able to put your social security number at the top of that thing and autograph it at the bottom and on the back. And that would have your groceries paid for, because you would be creating a financial instrument, okay? That's the way it's supposed to work. Your social security number is supposed to be paying for everything. It doesn't matter whether it's groceries or cars or houses. This is why anytime when you're talking about your car or your house, they're going to ask for your social security number. Why? Because that social security number is an estate or an account in itself. Okay? So now we're understanding that this is when you have an elite knowledge. The deal is, the really elite knowledge is knowing how to effect that. And we have learned how to effect that and how to get those funds back. So they always have to give you a receipt. Why do they have to give you a receipt? By law, if they don't give you a receipt, it's a fraudulent transaction. Why would it be fraudulent? Because you're not supposed to be paying for it in the first place. But if they give you a receipt, it's like they've given you the opportunity to get your money back, or what is called curing the debt. All right. So I'm going through all this information because I need you to understand that there are laws and things that we haven't been taught about laws in this society. But even when I say that to these people, they nervous. Well, Deepa, what happened if the IRS and they come and they audit you? What we gonna do? What we's gonna do? We's gonna know the law. That's what we gonna do. And the problem is that even with some people, I'm telling them this information, they're not ready to hear it because they are so deep in fear. They're so deep in fear that they can't hear a word I say. Understand this. And I need to make this clear, because the reason why I only deal with students, my students, when it comes to getting these funds back, is because we have to be spiritually in order first. Because one of the things that we know, and I have seen for myself, yeah, we've heard it, but I saw it for myself. Money only intensifies who you are already. Money only intensifies who you are already. So I have a student, and then I have a client. My client is refusing to come to class, even though I've given the opportunity to come to class. My client is refusing to learn and listen to the things that I speak about. So now my student and my client get tens of thousands of dollars. Hey, Lord Jerron, thank you for the love. Tens of thousands. I don't want to even say how much. I'm just saying it like that because it was a lot. And my client over here was started off nervous. Well, what happened if we get the money back, and what if they come after me, and what about the taxes, and what about this? My student over here living life. My client is over here more fearful before the money or after they get the funds than they were before. It only intensified their fear. It's like, how is it that you get all of these funds and now you have all of this freedom, but you can't live in the freedom because you're too afraid? The topic today is fear not, because you cannot operate in fear. Where is my, hold on. That's all right. I'm going to put it up right here if I can find it, because one of the things that we need to I talk so often about is the vibratory frequency chart. And if you are operating in fear, you're not operating in your right mind. You cannot even manifest anything of the good, because the only thing that you're manifesting is negativity. All right, understand this. Some of y'all are like, well, I don't pray, and I don't, I want the good things. But then you always worried about something. Understand what a worry is. Worrying is a prayer for what you don't want. I'm going to say it again because somebody didn't hear it. Worrying is a prayer for what you don't want. So I get this client over here that's constantly worried about, oh, well, what about my house? And what about the taxes? And every worry that she's bringing, she's manifesting it. And the deal is, if you're walking in fear, once again, you're not walking in your right mind. You're not operating in your right mind. And the only thing that you're manifesting is exactly what you're worried about. All right. So I can tell these people who I'm sitting here having dinner with about these topics concerning, and it just came up. It came up, and y'all know how I do, because you've been watching this thing. I'm no different in real life than I am here. This is real life too. I am this. This is my life. This is what I speak. So when it comes up, I'm going to speak on it with knowledge, but I have an understanding about the people who I'm around, because if they're operating in fear, which all of them were, then there's nothing that I can say to them to help them uplift themselves until they are ready to come out of their fear. I hope y'all are understanding what I'm saying. So I would love to be able to pull up this vibratory frequency chart. Let me see if I can find it, because this vibratory frequency chart is very important in understanding how to walk and how to stand. So I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it up, but here's what I will do. All right. Now it's backwards here. But when you're operating in fear, you're down here. You're in a lower vibratory frequency. This is very important. These colors are very real. If you're operating down here in these lower frequencies, the only thing you can manifest is negativity. But when you start operating up here in love and acceptance, then you're going to start manifesting things of a higher vibratory nature. All right. If you're constantly finding yourself worried about things, you're praying for what you don't want. So congratulations, because that's exactly what you're going to get. All right. Some other things that I'll go into. Okay. So let me get into these taxes. One of the things that we were speaking about at this dinner is that when you once again learn how to file your documents concerning taxes. It's not about what you have to pay them. It's about what they owe you. And let me go into this because some of you all have heard about the Hague, Hague, and there's not an understanding about what the Hague truly is and why it came to be. So let's understand this, because when I asked this question at dinner, I said, do you know the difference between the United States versus the United States of America? Once again, I got blank stares. There's no need of me going into how you get money back when you don't understand what the law is, when you don't understand what the history is. All right. I've said this before. Y'all can find it on YouTube, the U.S. versus the United States of America. Go and look up the Act of 1871. Look it up and read it for yourself. Do not go on Google and do a little synopsis about what they say the Act of 1871 is. Read the document. It's not that long, maybe about 5 pages. Read it. Because when you read it, then you're understanding that another organization called the United States was incorporated inside of Washington, D.C. in 1871. Now, once you recognize that, because you can, and don't even think about going to ask ChatGPT. It don't know. It doesn't know. It's been programmed to tell you, oh, there's no difference. Yes, there is. This is not going to tell you the difference between the federal side versus the state. They don't know the difference between federal, state, city, and county. They don't know the difference. But there is a difference. And you have to understand that. This is how you overcome your fear, because you not only have to understand what the history is, what the laws are, you have to understand who you are and what your rights are. Let me get back to the Hague. The Hague came about because the United States went into bankruptcy. The United States Corporation. And the thing is, when this corporation was incorporated in 1871, it tricked the people into believing that they had to become a citizen. It tricked the people. But there was the Hague who came into action, because also in 1933, the United States went bankrupt. And there needed to be an organization that governed this bankruptcy. Now I need y'all to understand, the United States Corporation is bankrupt, but the United States of America is the people. It is not bankrupt. But the people don't know who they are. They're still fast asleep. They're still operating under fear because they have ignorance. Well, the purpose of UNA University is to help you overcome that ignorance and that fear. All right. So you got, and you can start overcoming it even if you're not in the university. Look up these things that we're talking about. Look up 1870, the Act of 1871. Look it up and understand what went down. This United States Corporation was created, and in 1933, it went bankrupt. The Hague comes into play because it had to govern the fact that this United States owed the people money. The United States is a great big credit union, and it went bankrupt, and it owes the people money. So now this bankrupt organization is holding the estates of the people. And so now the Hague is saying to them, well, you owe them money. And if you're going to do any business with them, then you need to give them a receipt so that they can get their money back. Also, when you borrow funds from us on behalf of these people, then you have to put those funds in an account that is denoted by their social security number and their all capital letter name. You can't just take these funds and do with these funds what you want, because these funds don't belong to you, they belong to the people. And so when you do a deal with these people whereby they come in the grocery store and they pay with these Federal Reserve notes, you have to give them a receipt, because those Federal Reserve notes are not even real money. All right, they are debt instruments. So you have to give them a receipt. Why do they have to give a receipt? Because they've gotten money off of your social security number already. So if you're going to get real money, which is federal credits, you're going to get federal credits from us, and then you're going to have them using these paper dollars, then you got to give them a receipt, because you already owe them. Y'all ain't getting what I'm saying. Y'all not getting what I'm saying. Peculiar says, how do I sign up? Oh, how do I sign up is what Peculiar said. All right, you can find the link in the bio, all right, and we will give you a consultation so that you can get enrolled. We're starting up April 15th. So what happens is when you are spending these dollars, these are not the real money. The federal credits that they've gotten off of your social security number that are sitting in your estate that's denoted by your social security number and your all capital letter name, that's the real money. So they got to give you a receipt. This is why y'all ever gone through the drive-through at McDonald's or Wendy's? It's been a long time since I've been through there. But you ever seen where you've gone through the drive-through and they got a note up on the window saying, if you don't get your receipt, let us know, we're going to give you a free meal. Why? Why are they so anxious about making sure you get a receipt? Because if you don't get a receipt, then it's called a fraudulent transaction, and somebody's going to get in a lot of trouble. Somebody's fearing something. Well, what they're fearing is that if they don't give you a receipt and they get caught having a fraudulent transaction, they're going to be hit with a serious fine. All of these corporations, all of them, especially if they're publicly traded, they got to give you a receipt, whether it's for a car or a house or even a court case. A court case. That's a business. When you walk into court, y'all think, oh, that's the government. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's a business you're walking into. And they too have to give you a receipt, because you're not supposed to be paying for anything. They too owe you money. Now, how do we get it back, Dave? Okay, they owe me money. Well, now that comes with understanding law and how we use these federal agents to work on our behalf to get our funds back. Now, this is why we have class, we have the university, because please understand, if you are not under trust, first of all, if you're not under trust, you're not eligible to be trying to deal with these processes that we deal with. All right, you have to be under trust. Secondly, you have to have knowledge of what's going on. So what happens is we learn how to use certain financial instruments when we're dealing with taxes, when we're dealing with even going after certain agencies that are not doing the refund or not doing their job the way they're supposed to. All right. But the other thing you have to know is who you are and how to stand, because you got to understand you're like a slave trying to escape. What the master gonna do when the slave trying to escape? Well, they coming after you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because if you're walking in fear, you're not ready. That's why all of this is not just about, oh, well, give me the money because I ain't gonna say nothing. No, when my client over here got those funds, she had lost her mind. Lost her mind. not being willing to come into class, not knowing what to do. She's doing things that are opposite of everything I have told her and taught her. But my student didn't do that. All right? When you know the law, you know how to stand, you're spiritually intact. You gotta understand all of this. You gotta understand the history. Why is it that you have the right to claim what belongs to you? And I'm going to tell you something. And I love it is not because the people who I was at dinner with, they were younger people. My client happens to be older, but my older people have a tendency to be in a mindset of oppression. Oh, what they coming? They said the government, and none of these people who are coming at you are government. Not nary one of them. But if they have you believing that they are, and you start walking in fear, then you're going to start signing contracts and entering contracts that you don't have to enter. What does that mean? And I'm going to give you this example. I'm going to get up out of here. All right? When we started this process and we let the IRS know we're expecting our funds back, well, the first thing the IRS is going to do is try to hit you with a charge. Oh, it's a frivolous filing. That's what they're going to call it. And I need y'all to understand there's a difference between the IRS and the Internal Revenue. There's a federal side to this game. And then there's the U.S. corporation side to this game that is not federal. And you got to understand the difference between the two. Well, the IRS is going to come at you and say, oh, it's a frivolous filing. And if you don't know how to stand, you're going to be quaking in your boots. They're going to make you, if you don't get rid of this and you don't say that this is a mistake, we're going to charge you $5,000. What do you do? If you don't know who you are and if you don't know law, you're going to end up taking that charge. Yeah, they did the same thing with my client, with my students, and we knew what to do. That's why they had to pay the tens of thousands of dollars that they paid. What do they do? What do you do if they're coming at you after the fact? What do you do? Do you know who you are? Yeah. Because, oh, well, what if they audit us? Do you know what to do? Because my students do. Because what happens is they're going to come at you like, oh, well, you know, this was fraudulent. And you shouldn't, this is a fine and this is going to end you in jail for 10 years. But I tell you what, if you just sign this paper, we're only going to give you 2 years in prison, and then we're only going to fine you this much, and then you're only going to have probation for this many years. And then if you sign it, you have agreed. You have agreed to go to prison. You agreed because you didn't know law. You didn't know who you were. People in jail, people in prison, they've agreed to be there because they don't know who they are. All right. Again, I say to you, fear not. Fear not. Fear is down here on the lower end of this chart. If you're operating down here, you're not operating in your right mind. You're not even ready for those funds to come to you. You're not ready. We're going to start operating up here. This is why we get you in the class. If you're interested in joining, find the link in the bio. You could also visit us at UNAUniversity.com. We'd love to have you in the school. This is not just about having money. This is not just about talking about and complaining about how, oh, the man trying to keep us down. If you don't have a knowledge of law, if you don't understand who you are, if you don't know the history, if you don't know these intricate details about the difference between the United States versus the United States of America, federal versus state, county versus city, if you don't know that, you're not ready for this. But if you want to get ready, join the university. Find the link in the bio. You can find us at UNAUniversity.com. Visit us at UNA Republic on YouTube. We keep all of our full videos there so you can have them and learn what this information is, okay? I want y'all to know I love you. We're going to see you soon, all right? I got class. All my students, load up in the class. I want you to know I love you. We are finishing up this winter 2024. Such a beautiful season. Coming up on spring. I want y'all to be there. I'm out. Diva, I love you. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Oh, hugs for everybody. I'm out. I'm going to see y'all next time. Diva, bye.